Friends, thank you for being here today. What if I told you that while the world focuses on semiconductor factories and artificial intelligence algorithms, they're completely missing the most lucrative and strategic industry of the next century? And what happens when everyone realizes that the key to controlling human health agriculture and even national defense lies not in silicon chips, but in biological systems controlled by one country that most people associate with maple syrup and hockey? Most people don't know that Canada has quietly assembled the perfect storm for biotechnology dominance. We possess 20% of the world's fresh water, essential for pharmaceutical manufacturing. Our climate provides ideal conditions for drug storage and transportation. Our vast wilderness harbors genetic diversity that could unlock the next generation of life-saving medicines. But here's the part that should reshape every healthcare investment. We're turning biological resources into the ultimate economic weapon. This isn't just about developing new drugs or medical devices. We're talking about controlling the fundamental building blocks of life itself. The genetic codes, biological processes, and natural compounds that determine everything from crop yields to human longevity. But here's the question that will define the next century. What happens when the biology revolution is made in Canada? This is the story of how genetics, natural resources, and strategic policy are making Canada the unexpected emperor of the biotechnology age. And why the next medical breakthrough might come from a laboratory in the Canadian wilderness, powered by our resources and protected by our sovereignty. Before we examine Canada's unique advantages, we need to understand just how dramatically biotechnology is reshaping the global economy. This isn't about incremental improvements in existing drugs. We're looking at technologies that could fundamentally alter human health, agricultural production, and even the nature of manufacturing itself. The numbers reveal the staggering scale of this transformation. The global biotechnology market is currently worth over $1.2 trillion and growing at 13 to 15% annually. By 2030, biotech could represent the largest single industry in the world economy, surpassing both technology and energy in total value. But traditional market size doesn't capture the strategic importance of biotechnology. Unlike other industries, biotech directly affects national security, food security, and public health. Countries that control biotechnology capabilities can protect their populations from pandemics, ensure food production in changing climates, and potentially defend against biological threats. The COVID-19 pandemic demonstrated this strategic importance dramatically. Countries with domestic vaccine manufacturing capabilities could protect their populations and maintain economic activity. Countries dependent on foreign pharmaceutical production faced delays, shortages, and political pressure that affected their response to the crisis. This has triggered a global race for biotechnology sovereignty. The United States has launched massive initiatives to rebuild domestic pharmaceutical manufacturing. China is investing hundreds of billions in biotechnology research and development. The European Union is creating strategic reserves of critical medicines and investing in domestic production capacity. But while other countries focus on rebuilding capabilities they've lost to globalization, Canada starts from a position of natural advantage that cannot be easily replicated. Our resources, climate, and regulatory environment create optimal conditions for biotechnology development that other countries struggle to match. The convergence of multiple technologies is accelerating this transformation. Gene editing tools like CRISPR allow scientists to modify biological systems with unprecedented precision. Synthetic biology enables the engineering of entirely new biological organisms. Artificial intelligence accelerates drug discovery and development processes that once took decades. These technologies are creating opportunities to address challenges that seemed impossible just a few years ago. Genetic diseases that affected families for generations can now be treated with single doses of gene therapy. Crops can be engineered to resist drought, pests, and diseases while producing higher yields. Manufacturing processes can use biological organisms instead of chemical factories. The economic implications are staggering. A single successful gene therapy can generate tens of billions of dollars in revenue. Agricultural biotechnology can increase crop yields by 20–50% while reducing pesticide use. Biological manufacturing can produce materials and chemicals with lower costs and environmental impact than traditional industrial processes. But perhaps most importantly, biotechnology is becoming essential for national competitiveness across multiple sectors. Countries that fall behind in biotech capabilities will face disadvantages not just in healthcare, but in agriculture, manufacturing, defense, and environmental management. Now let's examine what Canada actually possesses that gives us unprecedented advantages in this biological revolution. The combination of natural resources, infrastructure, and regulatory capabilities we've assembled is almost impossible for other countries to replicate. Let's start with our most fundamental advantage, water. Biotechnology manufacturing requires enormous amounts of ultra-pure water. Pharmaceutical production, vaccine manufacturing, and biological research all depend on water quality that meets the most stringent standards. A single biomanufacturing facility can consume millions of gallons of purified water daily. Canada possesses 20% of the world's surface freshwater, but more importantly, our water is naturally pure and requires minimal processing to meet pharmaceutical standards. Countries like Singapore and Israel have developed advanced water purification technologies, but they're working with seawater or recycled wastewater. We start with pristine freshwater from northern lakes and rivers. This water advantage becomes more valuable as water scarcity affects other regions. Major pharmaceutical manufacturing centers in India and China face increasing water stress that threatens their ability to maintain production. European facilities must compete with agricultural and municipal water demands. Canada's abundant freshwater provides security and cost advantages that become more significant every year. Our climate provides another layer of advantages that most people don't fully appreciate. Biological materials are extremely sensitive to temperature and humidity fluctuations. Maintaining proper storage and transportation conditions for vaccines, gene therapies, and biological samples requires sophisticated climate control systems that consume enormous amounts of energy. Canada is naturally cold. Climate reduces cooling costs for biological storage by 60-80% compared to facilities in warmer regions. Our temperature stability throughout most of the country minimizes the risk of climate control failures that could destroy valuable biological products. For companies storing genetic material, biological samples, or temperature-sensitive drugs, Canada offers natural advantages that can't be replicated artificially. But perhaps our most unique advantage lies in our biological diversity. The boreal forest, Arctic tundra, and marine ecosystems of Canada harbor genetic resources that represent untapped potential for drug discovery. Many of the world's most important medicines originated from natural compounds found in plants, fungi, and microorganisms. The cold-adapted organisms found in Canadian ecosystems have evolved unique biological mechanisms that could provide insights for human medicine. Arctic bacteria that survive in extreme cold might provide compounds for preserving organs during transplant surgery. Boreal forest fungi could contain antibiotics effective against drug-resistant infections. Marine organisms from our 3 ocean coasts might produce compounds for treating cancer or neurological diseases. Traditional pharmaceutical companies have barely begun to explore Canada's biological diversity. Most drug discovery efforts focus on tropical rainforests or marine environments in warmer climates. The unique ecosystems of northern Canada represent a largely untapped biological library that could contain the next generation of breakthrough medicines. Indigenous knowledge adds another dimension to this biological wealth. Indigenous communities across Canada have developed sophisticated understanding of local plants, animals, and natural processes over thousands of years. This traditional knowledge, developed with proper partnership and consent, could accelerate the discovery of new medicines and biological applications. Our agricultural sector provides additional biotechnology advantages. Canada produces diverse crops across multiple climate zones, creating opportunities for agricultural biotechnology development. Our large-scale farming operations are ideal for testing and deploying new biotechnology applications. Our regulatory system for agricultural products provides clear pathways for bringing biotechnology innovations to market. The combination of these natural advantages creates optimal conditions for biotechnology development that would be incredibly expensive for other countries to replicate artificially. To understand how these advantages translate into strategic power, we need to look at how biotechnology is already reshaping international relationships and creating new forms of economic dependence. The most immediate example is pharmaceutical manufacturing. COVID-19 revealed how dependent most countries are on foreign pharmaceutical production. Over 80% of the active ingredients in medicines used in the United States are manufactured overseas, primarily in India and China. Similar dependencies exist for European countries and most other developed nations. This dependence creates vulnerability that goes beyond just economic considerations. Countries that control pharmaceutical production can influence the health policies of importing nations. They can prioritize their own populations during shortages. They can use drug access as diplomatic leverage. The country that suffered this most dramatically during COVID-19 was initially China's restriction of pharmaceutical exports early in the pandemic. Canada is positioned to become a reliable alternative to these potentially unreliable suppliers. Our combination of water resources, climate advantages, and stable regulatory environment makes us attractive for companies seeking to diversify their pharmaceutical manufacturing away from politically volatile regions. Several major pharmaceutical companies have already announced significant investments in Canadian manufacturing facilities. Pfizer expanded its Quebec operations partly because of access to hydroelectric power and pure water. Moderna established Canadian manufacturing capabilities specifically to serve both domestic and export markets. These investments reflect recognition that Canada offers strategic advantages for biological manufacturing. But the opportunities extend far beyond just hosting manufacturing for foreign companies. Canada has the potential to become a leader in biotechnology innovation, developing new medicines and biological products that serve global markets. Our research infrastructure provides a foundation for biotechnology leadership. Universities like the University of Toronto, McGill, and the University of British Columbia are recognized globally for biological and medical research. Government laboratories like the National Research Council provide sophisticated capabilities for biotechnology development. Canadian companies are already making breakthrough contributions to biotechnology innovation. AbCellera, based in Vancouver, played a crucial role in developing COVID-19 treatments. Zymeworks, another Vancouver company, is developing innovative cancer therapies. These successes demonstrate that Canada can compete at the highest levels of biotechnology innovation. The synthetic biology revolution provides particularly promising opportunities for Canadian leadership. Synthetic biology involves engineering biological organisms to produce useful materials and chemicals. This field requires the combination of biological expertise, computational capabilities, and manufacturing infrastructure. Areas where Canada has significant advantages. Canadian research institutions are making important contributions to synthetic biology. The University of Toronto's synthetic biology programs are among the world's most advanced. Canadian companies are developing synthetic biology applications for everything from sustainable materials to food production. Our abundant renewable energy provides cost advantages for synthetic biology manufacturing, which often requires significant computational power and energy input. Our regulatory environment provides clear pathways for bringing synthetic biology products to market without the complex approval processes that slow development in other countries. Gene therapy represents another frontier where Canada could achieve global leadership. Gene therapies require sophisticated manufacturing capabilities, extreme quality control, and stable supply chains. Our advantages in water, climate, and regulatory predictability make Canada an ideal location for gene therapy development and manufacturing. I want to pause here because this raises a fascinating question that I'd love to hear your thoughts on. As biotechnology becomes more important for national security and public health, should Canada prioritize developing domestic capabilities to serve Canadian needs first? Or should we focus on building export-oriented biotechnology industries that serve global markets? This choice will shape our role in the global biotech economy and could affect everything from our healthcare costs to our international influence. What's your perspective on how Canada should leverage our biotechnology advantages? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Beyond just manufacturing and research, Canada has opportunities to shape the regulatory frameworks and international standards that will govern global biotechnology development for decades to come. Biotechnology regulation presents complex challenges that most countries are struggling to address. Gene editing technologies raise questions about safety, ethics, and international coordination. Synthetic biology applications require new regulatory frameworks that don't exist in most countries. Agricultural biotechnology faces varying acceptance levels and regulatory approaches across different markets. Canada has the opportunity to develop regulatory approaches that balance innovation with safety and ethical considerations. Our stable political system and strong institutions provide the foundation for developing biotechnology policies that other countries could adopt as international standards. The regulatory expertise we develop in biotechnology could become a valuable export in itself. Countries developing their own biotechnology capabilities will need assistance with regulatory frameworks, safety standards, and quality control systems. Canadian regulatory expertise could help shape how biotechnology is governed globally. International partnerships in biotechnology research provide additional opportunities for Canadian leadership. Our stable political environment and strong research institutions make us attractive partners for countries seeking to collaborate on biotechnology development. The Arctic provides unique opportunities for biotechnology research that align with Canada's sovereignty interests. Climate change is affecting Arctic ecosystems and creating new challenges for northern communities. Biotechnology solutions developed for Arctic conditions could have applications in other extreme environments around the world. Space biotechnology represents an emerging frontier where Canada's space program expertise could combine with our biotechnology capabilities. Biological systems for space exploration, life support systems for long-duration missions, and biotechnology applications in space manufacturing all represent opportunities where Canada could achieve global leadership. However, realizing Canada's biotechnology potential requires strategic investments and policy decisions that many Canadians don't fully appreciate. We need to build on our natural advantages with sophisticated infrastructure, skilled workforce development, and international market access strategies. Biomanufacturing infrastructure represents the most critical investment priority. While we have natural advantages, we need world-class facilities that can compete with the most advanced biotechnology centers globally. This requires significant capital investment in specialized equipment, clean room facilities, and quality control systems. Workforce development is equally critical. Biotechnology requires specialized skills in biology, chemistry, engineering, and regulatory affairs. Canada needs educational programs and immigration policies that can supply the skilled workforce needed for a thriving biotechnology sector. Intellectual property protection and commercialization capabilities need continued development. Canada has strong research capabilities, but we've historically been less successful at commercializing research into successful businesses. Biotechnology requires sophisticated support systems for moving discoveries from laboratories to markets. International market access strategies are essential for Canadian biotechnology companies to achieve global scale. Biotechnology products often require regulatory approvals in multiple countries, creating complex market entry challenges. Canada needs trade policies and diplomatic strategies that help our biotechnology companies access international markets. Risk capital availability affects Canada's ability to develop biotechnology innovations. Biotechnology development requires significant upfront investment with long development timelines and regulatory risks. Canada needs venture capital and private equity capabilities that can support biotechnology companies through lengthy development processes. If you're finding this analysis of Canada's biotechnology transformation valuable, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps us continue producing in-depth analysis of the economic and technological trends that are reshaping our world. The biotechnology revolution represents one of the most significant opportunities for economic development and strategic advantage in the 21st century. Countries that achieve leadership in biotechnology will influence global health outcomes, agricultural productivity, and industrial development for decades to come. Canada possesses natural advantages in biotechnology development that are almost impossible for other countries to replicate. Our water resources, climate, biological diversity, and regulatory environment create optimal conditions for biotechnology innovation and manufacturing. But possessing these advantages is not the same as leveraging them strategically. Canada needs to make conscious decisions about how to develop our biotechnology capabilities while balancing domestic needs, export opportunities, and international cooperation. The next decade will be critical for establishing our role in the global biotechnology economy. The investments and policies we implement now will determine whether Canada becomes a major power in biotechnology or simply provides raw materials and services for other countries' biotechnology industries. The choices we make will affect not just our healthcare costs and agricultural productivity, but our entire economy as biotechnology becomes integrated into multiple sectors. Countries that fall behind in biotechnology capabilities will face increasing disadvantages in health outcomes, agricultural productivity, and industrial competitiveness. The aging global population increases demand for innovative healthcare solutions. Climate change creates needs for more resilient agricultural systems. Environmental challenges require new approaches to manufacturing and materials. All of these trends favor countries with strong biotechnology capabilities. Friends, we're living through the emergence of biotechnology as the dominant industry of the 21st century. While the world's attention focuses on digital technologies and energy transitions, the real transformation may be happening in laboratories where scientists are rewriting the code of life itself. Canada has been dealt an exceptional hand in this biological revolution. Our water provides the foundation for biomanufacturing. Our climate offers natural advantages for biological storage and processing. Our ecosystems harbor genetic resources that could unlock breakthrough medicines. Our research institutions possess world-class expertise in biological sciences. The question isn't whether Canada can become a major player in the biotechnology economy. We already have all the necessary ingredients. The question is whether we'll have the vision and commitment to combine these ingredients into a coherent strategy that positions us as leaders rather than followers in the most important industry transformation of our lifetimes. The cells are dividing, the genes are being edited, and the future of human health and agricultural productivity is being written in laboratories around the world. Canada has the resources to host that research, the expertise to guide its direction, and the opportunity to benefit from its applications. What we do with this biotechnology opportunity will determine not just our role in global healthcare and agriculture, but our ability to protect Canadian interests in a world where biological capabilities determine national power and economic competitiveness. The biotech revolution is here, and it's looking north for the resources and stability it needs to flourish. Canada can either seize this biological moment or watch others build their genetic futures with our water and our discoveries. Thank you for joining me for this exploration of Canada's biotechnology opportunity. What aspects of our biotech advantages do you think are most important for our future? Should we prioritize domestic healthcare benefits or focus on building export biotechnology industries? Share your insights below, and I'll see you in the next analysis of the forces shaping our biological future.